Hi guys, it's Sarah from K7 Farm, and tonight we're going to whip up a quick meal. I left the house today to do some errands. It should have been maybe an hour or so, and I came back and it's after dinner time, so the natives are getting restless and I need to put food on the table quickly. So let's do this. So here's our cast of characters. For the pasta, we have eggs, we have olive oil, we have salt, we have semolina, and we have regular flour. Then for the main portion of the meal, we've got our chicken, and this is actually pesto. It's in the freezer, and then we've got some heavy cream. And then the big tools that you're going to need for the job is a cast iron skillet, or just any skillet, a pasta maker, ideally, or you can roll it out and use a knife to cut. It's not absolutely necessary, and a food processor will make your life a lot easier, but it's not necessary. I'm going to use it though, and I'll show you how. So there's basically three pieces to this meal. There's the pasta making, the pasta cooking, and then whatever's going on in the skillet with the chicken and the pesto. So first things first, I'm going to get the pasta dough made because that needs to rest for 15 minutes before I do anything with it. I'm going to get the water boiling for the chicken or for the pasta, and then I will start the chicken. All right, let's make some pasta. Okay, we've got our pasta dough. I'm going to pull all this out, make a ball, and we're going to let it sit for about 15 minutes, and then we're going to get the chicken started. All right, so to prepare the chicken, I'm just going to cut off any visible fat because I don't like the texture of chicken fat. And then I'm just going to cut it into bite-sized pieces. I usually start cutting right through here like this. All right, got our hands washed. Now we're just going to put on some pepper and some salt.
I want my butter now.
And then this will all mix itself together once it goes in the pot or in the skillet. But first, I'm going to get some garlic and then grab some butter and some of that olive oil, and I'm going to start getting the skillet ready to accept the chicken. A little plug in there. Toss some butter in there. Let that sizzle. Alright, it's been a few minutes. So, we're going to stir the chicken, if I can find where I put the spatula.
Can I make them? What?
I don't know if you can tell in the camera or not, but it's starting to get white around the edges. That's usually when I know it's time to flip. We're starting to get a little color. We're going to flip it, let it cook some more. And the idea here is to get them browned and also fully cooked through for the next step. So we're going to let that go for a bit. Now we're going to start our pasta. Alright, so this was the ball of pasta dough. I've cut it in half and then in half again, so I'm working with a quarter at a time. And this was a double batch of pasta because I'm feeding a lot of people. You guys, with smaller families, will probably need half as much. But I like to roll it pretty flat so it doesn't give the pasta maker any issue going through. And then you adjust your pasta machine to the thickest setting. And don't be afraid to use flour. That keeps everything from sticking. Okay, so the chicken is cooked. Now we're going to add the still frozen pesto. It's not actually supposed to still be frozen, but it'll melt. And then over here we have water boiling, and it is ready for the pasta. Alright, so people say generally when you're cooking pasta to wait until it rises to the top and then it should be done, but I actually don't agree with that. I think sometimes when it rises to the surface, it's a little too soon. I think it benefits from a little more cooking, but that is up to you. Cook it until it's done enough for you. Alright, so I think these noodles are done. Now I don't think I mentioned it or not, but I added some oil to the pasta water, and that is going to help with the pasta, help keep it sticking while it's in the strainer over here. And because I'm cooking multiple batches of pasta, I have a strainer sitting over a bowl behind it where I'm using my spider to lift the pasta from the water to the strainer. And it's going to sit there and continue draining. And I'm going to add the next batch of pasta in. So most of the pesto has melted for the most part. Now I'm going to add some heavy cream, and this actually has no measurement. I just kind of add it until I feel like it's got enough. We're also going to be adding some pasta cooking water to this. Once everything is melted and the pasta is done, we're going to add some of that water from the pot to this to help thin it out also, and that'll help it stick to the pasta a little better. So we're going to let this just continue to cook. I'll add more if needed. Wait for all of these frozen bits to melt, and go from there. Alright, so as you can see, this is a little thick still, so I'm going to take some pasta water from the pot. I'm going to add just as much as we need. Now for this stuff, if you add too much, you can just cook it down until it gets to the consistency that you want. But I want a nice sauce that's not too runny, that'll coat the pasta. We'll let all this heat up and mix and mingle, and then we'll determine when we're ready to eat if it's the consistency we like. It's looking pretty good. So this will go on top of the homemade pasta, and that will be a quick evening meal. Creamy pesto pasta chicken.